What's up, everybody? You guys know who it is. And today I'm just going live briefly, hopefully about 30 minutes. But listen, you guys, make sure you keep it locked right here. I'm going to be right back, okay? Because I got some shit I want to say, and y'all know me. But listen, give me a break. I'll be right back in about 2 minutes. All right, y'all, and I am back. I hope you guys liked our radio station tour. So, for those of you who have not quite stepped foot in the station, that was a tour for you guys. So, you can kind of see what we got going on here in Miami. ATL, yes, location coming soon. You guys make sure you just be patient with me, all right? I only got two hands, it's only one of me. I can't do everything. Give me a second, guys. All right, just had to share this content. Oh, you know what? Let me do this. I forgot my girl Yoli was telling me I needed to tag them. So let me make sure I tag my homegirls real quick in this post. All right. But I hope you guys are feeling good today. I am because I have been blessed to wake up, period. For those of you who don't know, I lost a relative due to COVID. Um, and, him being who he is, passing away from that, it really hit close to home for me. It made me realize that every day I wake up is a blessing. So no matter what I got going on in my life, I don't care what it is, good or bad, detrimental, devastating, I'm still blessed to be here, as we all are. All right. So listen, let me get down to it because I don't want to be here long. And also, you guys know you can always come back to this live because I always keep my lives up no matter what happens. All right. It can be an embarrassing moment. I usually try to keep them up and not take them down. But I also will put a promo up for those of you who are not on Facebook. Instagram, I know you guys are over there, so I got you. But anyways, as you can see, the caption says black man versus black woman. So I wanted to talk to you guys today in regards to my last live that I did. A lot of black men, I'm going to say black men because usually black men have a problem with me, and it's disgusting. Like, I don't have a thing against black men. I love black men. If I had a problem with black men, do you know how many white men, Spanish, Latinos, and Cubans want to date me? But because I have a high regard and standard and respect for my black kings is why I have not chosen to take the easy route, because it's easier to get to, to go to an outside race where I may feel appreciated, more loved, admired, and, receive all the things that I want to receive from black men. So for those of you who know me, I'm not the type of black woman that allows what I have gone through in my previous relationships with black men to cause me to not want a black man. All right. So let's get that straight. Now, you guys also always hear me talk about weak man, strong man, alpha males, whatnot. I like speaking in those terms because that's how I try and distinguish one black male from the other. Okay. And for those of you who do not know what those terminologies are, you can simply Google it. I'm not your professor. I'm not a teacher. I don't have a degree to teach you anything. Google some shit do your research if you would like to argue and debate anything that I have to say. Okay, first and foremost, just do that. So I don't have anything against black men. Yes, when it comes to black men and black women, I'm very passionate about how I feel in regards to the responses that I receive from black men. So I'm not doing what a lot of people do. I'm not talking in terms of what I have seen a black man do to someone else. I'm speaking from my own personal experiences. And I apologize, right? So you black men who are out there, I want to say this. Let me just say this first before I even get started. If you know that I'm not talking to you, then you don't have any reason to comment on my post. None whatsoever. I shouldn't see any comment from you. If you know that I'm not referring to you, if you know, when I get to talking and you start thinking about what I'm saying and you realize, oh, she's not talking about me, then you don't have anything to say. Okay. My grandma always said a hit dog will holler. So if you got something to say, then obviously I stepped on your toes and we can talk about it. I don't have a problem with bringing you in on my live and talking about whatever you feel you disagree with me on. Okay. But again, I apologize for being raised by a real man. See, my father, Henry Ross, he's an old school type of guy. He was raised old school, and therefore, the things that he instilled in his daughters, they're from the old school. Now, these new generation men, you guys are on a whole nother different level. And I admit I'm a little ignorant to how you guys think, how you operate. And just everything about you is just not what I'm used to. Okay. So again, I apologize if I hurt your feelings. If I hurt you, if you felt like I've belittled you, insulted you, or made you feel less of a man, because that is not my intention. It is my intention to try and get you to understand what the definition of a real man is to me, based on the information that my father gave me. My father is in his 60s, so you can quite understand where I'm going with this. Okay. So my issue with black men, that I have experienced, and now I'm thinking, because I've also learned how to think before I speak, because one thing about me, I'm not apologizing about shit that I say. I don't care if it hurt your feelings. I don't care if it made you feel some type of way. I don't want to double back, on what I say. In regards to when it comes out of my mouth, I don't want to say, oh, I'm sorry for saying that. I will apologize if I ever have to apologize for making a statement. It'll probably be the type of apology that will not be accepted, because knowing me, I'll probably say some shit like, well, I'm sorry that you took it that way, but I'm not sorry for saying it. And that's the type of apology that I would give. Like, I'm not going to say I'm sorry for saying something that I believe. That's fuckery right there. I'm not doing that. If I believe something and I say it, I meant it. So let me go ahead and correct myself on that, because and the reason why I say that, because I got some of you people out there who like to try and tear down everything somebody says. You guys be looking for the littlest detail of something just so you can have something to say. Because I just said I apologize, in the beginning, but I had to just say that because some of you guys are just petty as hell, and that in itself is annoying. But anyways, my issue with black men, the weaker links of the black community, of the black male community. And these are the weak men. These are the men who are threatened, intimidated, jealous, and are in competition with women like myself. These are the men who want to believe that women like myself, strong, black, independent women, will never be married, can never get a man. A man will never want to be with us, which is, of course, I've already knocked out that stereotype, because everybody who knows me personally knows that I have been married before. And as a matter of fact, my ex-husband married me when I was a stripper. So number two, I knocked down another stereotype that no one wants to marry a stripper. I've been there, done that. So this is why I consider myself the stereotype breaker because I love breaking down stereotypes because it's a bunch of nonsense. And I'm quite sure it was a weak man that came up with half of the stereotypes against Black women. Let's not forget that the Black community as a whole has been demonized by other races for decades. But let's also dig deeper within the demonization of our culture, and let's set aside the fact that Black women are also in a category and in a lane of our own within our community. So not only is the Black community demonized by other races, but Black women are less protected within our community by our own Black men, the people who are supposed to protect us. And so that's my issue. So if you go down my Facebook page and you guys have seen me, raise hell, argue, debate with certain Black men, and you can kind of understand where I'm going. Like if you read the content between myself and whomever I arguing with, because that individual decided to come on my post and try to undermine my knowledge of something. And this is my issue with Black men, the ones who are threatened and intimidated by me, who has a problem because I'm intelligent. And that's the thing I don't understand. That's the part that gets me. Why are you so bothered that I'm intelligent? Why are you so bothered that I did my research before I even thought to open my mouth? Why are you bothered that I even have an opinion, whether the opinion is right or wrong? And that's the thing that I have never been able to get a Black man to answer. It seems like they always just have something to say about what I got to say that they claim has nothing to do with them. But then that's why I come back with the question in regards to why the fuck are you even on my live? Because who are you? And this is where, the aggression comes out. And this is where my aggravation comes out. And this is when I begin to raise my voice. I may start to curse because now I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed because, you're coming at me from all types of angles because of an emotion. Not because you want to understand anything I'm saying, but because your goal is to just simply tear me down. Your goal is to simply just try to make everybody think I don't know what I'm talking about. Your goal and your focus is trying to make me appear that I am not the businesswoman that I am, that I am not as intelligent as I am, that I am simply not who I say I am. And that is the problem that I have with Black men who have attacked me in the past. It's not about going back and forth, okay? Because let me give you an example. I've gone back and forth with a guy on Facebook, Keith Davis. Some of you guys know him. See, Keith is the type of male that respects my opinion. He's the type of alpha male that knows that I'm an intelligent woman. He knows that I'm strong-minded. He knows that I'm not going to back down. But when Keith debates with me and we get into these little Facebook arguments, regardless of how passionate I am, you never see Keith call me out of my name, try to make me look stupid, try to undermine or downplay my intelligence, because that is a male who understands that I have an opinion, woman or not. And if he does not agree with my opinion, he still allows me to say what I have to say. And this is why me and this guy have the type of relationship that we have on social media. We can go back and forth like that because you're not going to see him getting his feelings. He knows me. He knows how I talk. He knows my mouth is reckless. But see, he doesn't allow his emotions to get ahead of himself. And he and I have gone back and forth passionately about a lot of things. And so he is not included in the population of the Black men that I speak on now. All right. So when I say I have a problem with Black men, the problem that I have with you guys is just the competition. Why are you competing with me? Why? Why does it bother you so much that a Black woman can hold her own? Why does it bother you so much that we say we don't need a man. And for some of you, if you guys actually sat down and stood back and actually listened to what that really means when women say that, you'll understand exactly where we're coming from. And I have had to break this down before, so I'm gonna say it again, even though you guys know I really don't like repeating myself, but I'm gonna repeat it for the guys in the back that maybe missed the last live and didn't get it. Okay. So when a woman says she doesn't need a man, that does not mean she doesn't need a man. And I know that just went over you guys' head. It means she doesn't need a man coming into her life and not matching her hustle. She doesn't need a man that's going to come in her life, slow her down, and become baggage. She doesn't need a man that she's going to have to carry his weight. That's what we mean when we say, you know what? I don't need a man. It's kind of like the saying we all used to say back in the day, I can do bad by myself. I switched that up a long time ago, and I said, I don't need a man because I can do better by myself. And it's not directed at every man. It's directed at the men who don't have their shit together. So when that type of man approach us and we say, no, I'm good, I don't need a man, we just don't need the type of man that you are, because we can see that you ain't shit. We can see that you ain't about nothing. We see that you don't want nothing. You have never been motivated to do anything. We're watching, we're observing. You don't take care of your fucking kids. You put other women's children before your own. So when we say, no, we good, we straight, we don't need a man, that don't mean we don't need a man. We don't need the type of man that you are. That's what that means. Now, I'm going to, try and detail it a little more. I'm going to try to say it in another way if you didn't get it that way. So if a woman says she doesn't need a man, which I don't even know how many ways I can really say this, to be honest, it means that she can carry her own weight, right? It's like a lot of black men get upset when we say that. And it's like you're mad that we know how to do certain things on our own. And it's because we do. A lot of our fathers taught us how to change oil in our cars, taught us how to change our tires. So there are a lot of things and a lot of qualities that women have learned and now they possess. So when she says she don't need you, God damn it, she don't need you. Okay? Stop being mad because a woman says she don't need you. She don't need your ass. She don't need you. All right? So don't get offended by it. Be the type of man that comes into her life and not, be so concerned on whether or not she needs you, but get her in a position to where she wants you. And I always tell men this. It's better to have a woman to want you than need you, because there's always going to be another man that can give her more. All right. So you don't necessarily want a woman to need you anyway. You want her to just want you, because when a woman genuinely wants you, she really don't give a damn what you got. And so this is why I always, argue with these guys and say, why are you mad that I don't need you? That's not even something you need to be concerned about. Be happy that I don't need you. You really need to be more concerned about whether or not I want your ass. Because if I don't want you, then that means the only reason I'm with you is because I need you. And if I no longer need you, I'm going to leave your ass for somebody else that can give me more than what you are able to give me. All right. So I want to make that clear with you guys. And another thing in regards to women saying, they don't need a man. No, we don't, but we want a man. All right. because we need a man for companionship. All right. We need a man, of course, for the physical part of a relationship. Most women have had sex before, so they enjoy having sex. So, you need a man to have sex with. And again, like I said before, and at several of my posts, I always say this is not about, sometimes it's not even about the sex. Sometimes a woman just needs to be in a man's presence, especially single women. And I don't even want to get into that part because that's a whole nother podcast. And I'll talk about that later in regards to single women and why a lot of single women are content, comfortable, and humble with just being by themselves and just having a guy come by and do what Sippy Red said that he likes to do, drop dick off. You got women who just want that. And I'll talk about that later. As a matter of fact, I'll make sure that my girl Angie B Real is in the building so we can kind of go back and forth and give you guys a better understanding on that. But back to what I was saying in regards to the black men who are always in competition with black women. Yes, I said it before and I'm going to say it again. You are the weakest link. You have an issue, and I can assure you that the issue is not with us. Okay. When you have a problem with the black woman that is aggressive, controlling, knows what she wants, has established a lot of things on her own. When you have a problem with that type of woman, that means you have a problem with your mother or some lady in your life that, traumatized you in some type of way in your childhood. And that's not our issue. Okay. We are who we are because this is how God designed us to be. It has nothing to do, with us trying to control you, dominate you, or make you feel less of a man. It has nothing to do that. It means when you get with the type of woman that I am, everybody knows I'm controlling, I'm aggressive. I know what I want. I know where I'm going in my life. My life is almost sort of planned out to the T. And I've always been like this since the age of 17. It means that you're going to have to come harder. And this is why I always say you got to match my hustle. You got to match me on every level. And the reason why I say that, now, the women didn't make these rules up, right? So back in the 1800s, remember when women were just considered to be, you clean up, you have the kids, and that's it. We were considered to be dumb, not intelligent at all. We didn't have a brain in our head, right? This is dating back decades, way before I was even born, okay? So if a woman is supposed to be less stronger than a man, you guys are supposed to be stronger than us, right? By nature. This is not my rule. This is not something that I made up. This is something that I was told when I go back into the history books and I went to college, my professor, we read up on this stuff, right? So if I'm reading that men are the dominant human, the dominant species, or the strongest link, supposed to be stronger than women. And I know me. I know how hard I go. I know, what my drive is, so to speak. Like, I know that I'm a strong individual. I know that I don't give up easily. I fight and I'm driven, I'm motivated, self-motivated. If I know that I'm all of these things, then, correct me if I'm wrong. Shouldn't a man come in and be twice as all of that? Because this is what I believe. Let me go to my comments. Okay, Eric Dale Robinson says he loves a strong black woman. Exactly. And that want is everything. Yes, right? And so these men in my comments, see, these are to me alpha males. See, they can respect and admire and appreciate the type of woman that I am. They're not intimidated by me. I don't intimidate these men. These men just know that, well, damn, okay, I know how I got to come at her. I know how to handle her. And one thing about aggressive women, independent women, we are submissive. And I know that that's hard to believe because of how we come off, but we are only submissive to alpha males. We are only naturally able to submit to men who portray themselves and show us that they are stronger than us. See, those are the type of men that I like. I like a man to know that I'm going to be who I am. Like, he knows I got a mouth. He knows I'm a pop off. He knows that I'm aggressive. He knows that I'm not going to sit my ass down. He knows that I'm going to make shit happen until it gets done. But he also knows that he has to come harder. So if he sees me on go mode, he's like, no, I can't let my girl outdo me. I can't let her outdo me. If she on go mode and she's going, it's 10 o'clock at night, nigga, I got to go to about 11 to midnight. And that's the type of male that I highly respect those males. And there are a lot out there. I can name a few. But I'm not, because I don't want the ones who actually think they're alpha males that I don't call their name feel some type of way, because again, those are the ones that get in their feelings easily. And so back to what I was saying, that's my issue. That's just my issue. I just want black men, you know who you are. Stop undermining intelligent women. Stop trying to downplay our intelligence. Stop trying to belittle what we have going on. And let me give you guys an example. All right. And I'm not even going to say this male's name. This is the shit that I have to put up with in my career and what I'm doing. And these are the type of men that I'm talking about. So everybody knows, like, I'm the first black female to have a radio station in the state of Florida, right? Now, my radio station has only been up for about 3 years. So I'm out there. I meet a lot of different radio stations, underground stations, from the big ones to the underground ones to the podcast shows. And most of them are male dominated. I had a guy who has his own radio station here in Miami. Not going to say his station's name, not going to say his name. But this is the shit that I have to put up with. Rather than him, commend me for getting in this industry, being that it's male dominated, and wanting to help me, get my station to where it needs to be, being that he has been 10 years in the game. No, that didn't happen. It's kind of like he wants me to learn everything that he was taught on my own. So he had this whole attitude as, well, didn't nobody give me shit. I'm not about to put you on to nothing. You just gonna have to get it how I got it. It took me 10 years. So I guess it's gonna have to take your ass 10 years too. You see the mindset that I'm saying? Like, not even trying to make it easier, but in fact, try and make it harder. And then at the same time, insult my radio station as if it's nothing, as if it's not going anywhere, as if it's not going to be anything, But yet, now keep in mind, this is what I'm thinking, right? While he's running his mouth and his ego is just jabbing me, just stabbing me, just stab. He's just, I'm humble, right? So in my mind, I'm praying and I'm like, Lord, don't let me pop off on him, because see, this is what they expect. Because then I'm going to be, looked at as, guess what? The angry black woman. So I just, I let him speak. At the same time, as he's talking, I'm thinking in my head, so you've been in this radio game 10 years. I've been in it 3, and yet my radio station is thriving more than yours. Yet I'm out here competing with 99 Jams, 103.5 The Beat, and you're just still in a podcast category. But at the same time, he's insulting me. Did I tear him down? Did I tell him that? Did I try to, come at him when he pretty much opened himself up for the attack? No, I didn't do that. You know what I did? I commended my king. I said, wow, 10 years in the game. I said, wow, that's an amazing milestone. I said, it must have been hard for you. you know, and that's all I said. I congratulated him for being in the game that long, even though being in the game that long, you are nowhere near on the level of WMRR radio. But see, he can't see that. You know why? Because he's automatically threatened by me. He's threatened by my ability. He's threatened by my drive. He's threatened at the idea that I will be greater than he. You know why he knows that? Because he sees that I only been in the game 3 years and making the milestones and the steps that I'm making, and yet he's been in the game for 10. So you don't necessarily have to call one of these men out. They're going to show you who they are. But this is the stuff that I have to deal with. And you guys, I want you to understand why I'm the way that I am. Because it's not about being in the radio industry. It's really not. I have been in the streets by choice, for years. So it's kind of like I am in survivor mode all the time. My guard is up and I have to protect myself because, again, most industries are male dominated. And when you are the type of female that's, trying to prove yourself, there's a lot of shit you got to go through, because like I said, I'm not one of these women who laid on my back to get any of the equipment that I have in here. All right. I'm not one of these women that has a nigga that I can say, hey, go in your bag, give me this, buy me this, I need this. No, nobody did anything for me. And briefly before I go, I want to address that. Because I get a lot of hating ass women who feel like because I don't have a man helping me that I can't get a man to help me, or that I'm just running into broke men or men who just aren't professional on a level to where they got anything. It's not that at all. So for all you women who think that, I want to just set the record straight, okay? 20 years ago, about 25 years ago, and I'm going to share something with you guys that I really don't talk about outside of my personal circle. So I was a stripper, all right, in Atlanta. A lot of people know that who know me. So I was in the hustle game deep. It was all about making money, the hustle, and trying to come up. Now, mind you, when I was a stripper, I had like maybe 5, 6, 7 men. All had trucking companies. I mean, they were like GMs of major companies. I'm not going to call these companies names or anything, but they all were like 7-figure millionaire type men, right? And I had them all paying certain bills. And I was dependent on that. I really was. I used to be dependent on the money that they gave me. All right. So I had to learn the hard way when it came to a man providing for you. That meant he wants you to do what he wants you to do as well. And I had to learn the hard way. And so there were like several times, right? I had a guy put me up in a nice big house, got mad at me. I wouldn't stay home. It was something I wouldn't do that he wanted me to do. Guess what he did? He stopped paying the rent. All right. I had a guy at one time wanted me to come see him, wanted to take me to dinner. I didn't want to go. It was something else I wanted to do. Guess what he didn't do? He didn't pay my car insurance that time. So I've had guys take care of me, and I've had those same guys take from me. They, to me, were like Indian givers. It was only, they were only doing for me because they wanted me. So they were like kind of buying my time. They weren't the type of men to do regardless of if I had time for them or not. It didn't work like that. So I made a decision after, I think what really, really hit home for me was when one guy let my car get repossessed. That was it for me. That was the last straw. I vowed to never depend on a man. So when I tell people, no, I'm damaged in the area of depending on a man, please believe that I have been through some shit, and I will never put myself in that situation again, ever. Because that's why I tell you guys, Everybody has an opinion. Everybody's views are based on what they've been through. So stop telling people how to feel about certain situations when you don't know what the fuck they've been through. They think the way they think because they went through some shit and it traumatized them. So just respect how people feel. And this is what I try to get women to understand. They're like, oh, girl, if I was you, I'd get a nigga to do this. Girl, I would not be paying that radio station bill, my rent, that Camaro you got. Girl, please. No, baby. No, boo. Because guess what? Unless a man is going to come into my life and put up that money up front for the whole year, pay my car off, it ain't happening. So that's why I'm on a whole nother level in regards to what I allow people to do for me. And it's not even about men. I've shared, things with my homegirls about what I even went through with so-called best friends, so-called girls who were supposed to be in my corner, loved me. I done been shitted on. You hear me? By people I trusted, I loved. And so that's why I am the way that I am. And it was so bad for me. It took me a while to even trust my own family. You hear me? I was so damaged and messed up that I didn't even trust my own brothers and sisters. I didn't even trust my mom or my dad. It took me years to really be comfortable enough to call my dad and call my mom and ask for something. And my mom would tell you to this day, I never used to ask anybody for nothing. I would go through my struggles, go through my shit. I've been homeless more times than I can count. I slept in the back of school buses. I slept in the park. I slept on crackhead sofas in Atlanta. So don't judge who I am because I have a past. And that's why I'm the way that I am. And again, I hold myself accountable for a lot of shit too. A lot that, and that's another thing I want to talk about later. People don't hold themselves accountable. And I can honestly say all of the shit that I went through in my life, if I look back, it was my fault because I kept the wrong company. My mom always used to say, it's the company you keep. It's you're going to become a product of your environment. You got to make sure you choose the right people to hang with. Because if not, you're going to end up just like them. I never used to understand what she meant by that. Because I used to be like, Mom, no, I'm not. They good. Shit. Folks got me in so much goddamn trouble. When I say them people fuck my life up, this is why I say I will never. You hear me? The reason why I can say never, because I've been through it before. And I'm not going back through it anymore. So don't come into my life asking me to let you in or asking me to let you do this and let you do that. I will not. And it has nothing to do, with you. That's just my guard. That's just my guard. And so when I put up a post, I reshared a post that somebody put up and it said, I think I just recently put it up and it said something in regards to your biggest downfall is going to be believing that somebody wouldn't do something to you. And like I said, I went through that when I think I spoke maybe 2 years ago about having your mind blown. I have had my mind blown. And there was a time in my life, and like I say, only my siblings know when I was in this dark place. I had been so broken. And I had been, when I say I had been drugged, I had went through, it seemed like everybody that I came in contact with wanted to hurt me. Whether it was mentally, physically. I even had church people hurt me. So I went through a very dark moment in my life where I attempted to kill myself. And only my family knows about this. And this is something I've never told anybody, ever. And I had my children. I'm going to tell you why I was so motivated to have my kids at the time. That's why I say God is an awesome God. He's awesome and he's on time. Because back then when I was going through what I was going through, being so broken to the point where you don't know why you even here. You can't see beyond the darkness that you're in. Like I couldn't see my future. I couldn't see nothing for myself. That's how gone I was mentally. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I made a pact. It was crazy pact because I'm gonna tell y'all some funny stuff leading afterwards. All right, I can laugh about it now because it was really crazy. The only thing that saved my life, and I'm honestly telling y'all some stuff that I've never shared with nobody. The only thing that saved my life were my children. All right. I didn't want kids. I never wanted kids. At that time, I was focused on my music career. When I left Florida, when I left Mims, Florida, and went to Atlanta, I was in like beast mode, trying to be, the next biggest superstar, right? And so I got down there, went through a whole bunch of shit. I mean, it was just crazy. That's a whole nother chapter of my life. But when I went through this dark moment in my life, and I was done, y'all. I didn't want to be here no more. When I say I didn't want to be here no more, I did not want to be here no more because I didn't feel loved. I always felt like I was loving people, but I never felt that same love that I was giving out. I never felt like anybody really loved me the way that I loved them. I didn't feel it from my mom. I didn't feel it from my dad. My dad, he was in prison half my life as a kid. I think I met my dad when I turned about 13 or 14. He had just gotten out of prison on a murder charge. So, and then my mom was going through her own personal, my mom was fighting her own personal demons before she turned her life over to God. And mind you, I'm the oldest of 6 kids. So I had a lot on me because my mom would leave me to take care of my siblings. So I kind of felt like I didn't really have a childhood because I always had to watch my siblings, so to speak. So I went through a rebellious stage as I became a teenager. I rebelled against my mom and everybody because I wanted to live my own life. So I got kicked out I got kicked out shy of my 17th birthday of the house because I was just horrible. I was just this person that my mama she just couldn't deal with me anymore. All right. So yeah, I got tossed in the streets or whatever. Tough love. My mom had to do that tough love thing. Me and my mama, we are close. I love her. I mean, everything that she did, I'm grateful that she did it. And I've told her this over and over and over again because it made me who I am today. But anyways, back to, was in a dark place, didn't want to be here, tried to commit suicide 3 times. And it never happened, right? It never happened. So one day, I remember I was in the Motel 6 because, mind you, at the time when I was in this dark place, I was dating a guy who I thought loved me. We had dated for like 8 months, right? Dated like 8 months. And like I say, nobody knows about this. And I don't went all off topic, but I feel like somebody need to hear this because I don't want people thinking that my life was perfect, that my life is perfect, and that I don't have a past. I have a hellified past. I've been through some shit. So I met this guy, right? As soon as I left Mims, Florida, 1996, moved to Atlanta in pursuit of this career. Met a guy, very charming. He was driving a Mercedes at the time. Met him at the gas station on Wesley Chapel in Decatur. All right. And he approached me, and I was at the time, I was just coming from the recording studio, recording like one of my first songs with an older guy named Charles. All right. And so Charles was taking me to Stone Mountain to my cousin Louis Sconyer's house because that's who I was living with at the time. And so met this guy, ended up getting with him, charming, swept me off my feet, bought me everything I wanted. I mean, this dude just showered me with everything. And so I ended up moving out of my cousin Louis's house, right? Moved out of there, moved in with this guy. So my cousin was like, "Are you sure?" Because my cousin didn't think the dude was, who he said he was, because my cousin had caught this vibe. But mind you, I'm young, I'm naive. I just came out the country. I'm in this city. So I don't have the spirit of discernment at that time. You know, I'm not really listening to my intuition, even though something was like, no, I don't think this is a good idea. So I just went with it, right? I went with it. He was like, you know, I want you to move in with me. Let's do this, whatever, whatever, right? So we didn't necessarily move into our own place right away. We moved in with his mom. His mom didn't really like me a little bit for, I don't know. She just didn't take to me right away. So I went through some drama with her. We lived with her and off a snap finger in Decatur for a few months before we still didn't get our own place, moved out of her house into a Motel 6. And so one night I went and I visited a friend of mine that I found out lived in Atlanta. He was from my hometown. Found out he was living, you know, close to where I was, and I decided to go visit him. So I'm over there chilling with him. We talking, we just reminiscing about our old days or whatever. So my boyfriend called, the guy that I done fell in love with, that I felt like, you know, this my ride or die. You know, he used to call me Bonnie. We were Bonnie and Clyde because, you know, we were there for each other like that, right? And I knew what he was doing because he was a street dude. And, you know, I held him down. Y'all know, I ain't without saying. So one night he came, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if he had got robbed of his supply. I don't know what happened. All I know, he came. We were sitting in the car, sitting outside the apartment complex, and I would never forget him asking me. He said, he used to call me Mo by my middle name. My middle name is Monique. And he said, Mo, you my rider? And I said, yeah. And I'm looking at him, and he was like, you love me? And I was like, of course. He's like, no, but you really love me. And I'm like, I do. He said, so you my ride or die, right? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, you Bonnie, right? And I said, yeah, and you Clyde. So he was like, all right. So I kid y'all, no lie. I'm not even gonna lie. This dude pulled out a wig and told me he needed me to put this wig on. And he wanted to drop me off on Peachtree Street in Atlanta. This dude wanted me to prostitute my body so he could buy some dope. So we got into an argument in the car. At that moment, that was the first time he ever hit me. And from that first blow to my face, the beatings continued for 10 months of my life because I refused to prostitute for him. So if you ever wanted to know why I got into stripping, and I always tell this story the same way. There's a friend of his named Thaddeus. His name was Thad. Thad, I'm still friends to this Thad to this day because Thad saved my life. You hear me? So mind you, I had to fight almost every day. Stand up for myself every day, physically, because I refused to prostitute for this dude. Now, let's go back to me not observing the company that I have been keeping. So all this time, y'all, this dude had me around, all his homeboys and all their girlfriends. We all rolling in the same circle. We all doing the same things, and, you know, going clubbing, he hustling, you know, I'm holding it down, counting his money, doing whatever, going with him, making drops, pickups, whatever. I never knew what was really going on. Because again, remember, I'm a country girl. I'm really naive to everything. Come to find out, everybody that I have been hanging with, everybody in his circle, and I promise you guys, I'm not making this up. I cannot make this up. They were pimps and prostitutes. I was the only one that wasn't a prostitute. His whole goal was to convert me over to being his prostitute. I have been dating a so-called pimp and didn't even know it. And so once I realized what had been going on, I began to fight for my life. And I wrote a book. I haven't released it, but it talks about like everything I had went through from detail. I mean, he tried to do a murder suicide. He burnt down my apartment. He, you know, took all my clothes. He took my ID, my birth certificate. I mean, it was crazy the shit that this dude took me through. So anyways, make a long story short, because I know this story getting juicy to y'all now. I might have to go back and delete this live. So his friend named Thad, he came over to the apartment because by then I had gotten me a job, and I was trying to bring in money myself, right? Because I was tired of being in the hotel. So I took it upon myself to just start making my own money because I couldn't understand what he was doing with his money at that time. Kind of find out he was snorting cocaine too. But anyway, that's another story. So one day I had got an apartment in Stone Mountain off of North Harrison. The apartments, you guys can Google this, used to be called Bishop's Gate. If you Google Bishop's Gate, you'll know when I was there. It's a whole nother name now because they went through like 3-4 different management companies, changed the name like 3-4 times. But they're like a loft community, and I had a 1-bedroom loft there. I went and got a 1-bedroom loft. And how I was able to get that 1-bedroom loft was from one of my white clientels when I was a stripper at a white club called Tattletales. It was an old guy. He was about like 80 years old, white hair, and he was one of my regulars. So he actually at that time helped me get that apartment. Okay. So we moved into that apartment, and the dude, we would get into these fights all the time. So one day his friend was over there chilling, and they stopped by the house. I had just went grocery shopping, spent like $350 of groceries at Kroger's, right? I'm putting the groceries up in the kitchen. All of a sudden, this dude gets mad out of nowhere. Like, I don't even know. His mood swings were like crazy as hell to me. He just came in the kitchen and just knocked the hell out of me for no reason. Like, when I say this dude came and just punched me in my face so freaking hard. And do you know why he did it? He said, "Oh, you think you don't need me? Oh, you going and you buying groceries? Oh, you done stocked up the house with groceries? You done got furniture in here? Oh, so you finna leave a nigga now, huh?" You see how the dude was jealous of my ability to be able to provide for myself. It was crazy. And this is why I get mad when I see men trying to compete with me. It pisses me off because I've experienced a man that was supposed to love me but was in competition with me and will get mad when he saw I didn't need him. And so this dude, I tell you no lie, this dude went in the kitchen. He opened up everything I had just purchased, y'all. I mean, from the flour to the sugar to the milk. He opened everything and threw it all over the kitchen. Dumped everything out everywhere. I mean, everything I had just bought, he opened it and threw it all over the fucking kitchen. The sofa I had just rented. I didn't even buy the sofa, y'all. The sofa was rented from Aaron's. He went and this is no lie. His friend Thad, keep in mind, sleep on the sofa because they had been up all night supposedly hustling, right? So when they came over, his friend fell asleep because they had been up all night grinding, hustling, or whatever. His friend woke up because this fool had done set the couch on fire. He poured a lot of cooking oil that I just purchased on the sofa and set the sofa on fire. Brand new sofa that Aaron's had just delivered that I bought. And I wasn't even done paying on the sofa. I mean, it was crazy how jealous this dude was. So that's when his friend jumped up because his friend jacket caught on fire. And the friend jumped up and went off on him like, "Nigga, what is wrong with you? Why you burning up this girl apartment?" He was like, "Man, I'm out of here, man. You crazy." Like, dude, that's so that, they put the fire out. He left, right? My so-called boyfriend, he left because I guess he thought I was going to call the police on him after he set the sofa on fire and tore the whole fucking kitchen up. But I wasn't going to do that because another thing, I didn't never want to see him back in prison because keep in mind, this dude was a 3-time felon, right? And so I just cleaned up everything. So his friend Thad, he called somebody to come get him. He was like, I'm not riding with you because they had got into it. And so he called, I don't know if he was calling his girl. He called somebody to come get him. And so at that time we were there, he started helping me clean the apartment up. And so this is what he told me. He said, "Listen," he said, "Hey, this dude is not going to let you go. He going to stalk you. He crazy." And he said, my girl is a stripper, right? He said, I can get you hired at Jazzy T's. I'll get you a job. I'll tell her to get you on at Jazzy T's. And I was like, "What is that?" He would say, "It's a strip club. Like, you just gonna be dancing naked, but at least you ain't got to be sleeping with nobody. This nigga trying to put you out on Peachtree. He was like, look, shawty, you gonna have to do something. You either gonna be on Peachtree being a prostitute, or you gonna have to go to this club, make you some money. So I never forget what he told me. He said, let me tell you how the game works. So Thad say, whatever amount of money you make, he say, if you make $300, don't tell that nigga. Tell that nigga you make 150, because he gonna take everything that you making. So he say, make sure you give him the less. You take 60, give him 40. Don't give him all of your money. He say, stack your money and get the hell on. Go back to home, go back to Florida, do whatever you got to do. But I'm going to get you in there. I'm going to calm that nigga down. I'm going to tell him that you're going to start working at Jazzy T's. So, and that's what he did. The next night, I met this girl. She was a stripper at the club. Everybody knew her. Nice, pretty girl. Had a nice body. She showed me the ropes, introduced me to everything. I had to go in the back, do my body check. They hired me on the spot. I had, it was a costume girl in the back selling costumes. She would lend you costumes, tell you, as soon as you make your first little bit of money, come back and give me the money for the costume. So I think I had spent like $50 because I bought a costume. One was $25. The shoes was like $25. So I had to get the costume girl like $50 for my little outfit, right? And that is how I ended up being a stripper instead of a prostitute. So, but listen, there's other chapters to that story. I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm gonna just end it right there because I don't been on my live too damn long. But just know, guys, I'm very passionate about men competing with me because, like I said, I have a past, and it bothers me and it upsets me because I don't feel like it's necessary. Like when you see a strong, independent black woman doing her thing, and when she has her guard up and she doesn't want anybody helping her, just know that she went through some stuff. And there's ways that you can help us without letting us know that you're helping us. Because I can tell you, we're not going to take it. I'm going to always say I'm good. I'm always going to tell you I'm good, even when I'm not good, because I've had horrific experiences with depending on our black men. And to this day, and like I tell people, women, I get disgusted when I see black women, always have something negative to say about black men. And I always call those women the weakest link, because out of everything I went through with every black man I have ever dated, and watching my daddy beat my mom was abused, I have never given up on a black man. And it breaks my heart when I see a black man give up on me, because I look back and I say, wow, out of all the stripes and the scars and the pain that I took for you, you got the audacity to walk away from me. You can't take my burden, but you expected me to carry every last, damage, hurt, pain, scar, whatever you was dealing with. You expected me to carry that for you, and I did that shit. I carried it for you. I helped you up out the trenches. And when it came for you to stand in the mud for me, you turned your back and you went to another race. And you praised that other race. You called them your queen. So yes, I take it personal when I see my kings dating outside the race. Do I respect them? Do I love them? Yes, I do. But I do have, I find it bothering because of the shit that I went through. And I feel like, I speak for a lot of black women. A lot of black women have carried the load and bared the scars and took on the pain. You ever had well, for those of you who have children, right? And I'm going to use this as an example, because this is what black women like myself do for black men. And this is why a lot of us don't want to give all of us to a black man. Sometimes I sit back and I watch my daughters. I got 2 daughters, 14 and 15. When my daughters are sick and I see them, sick, whether they're cramping with their menstrual cramps, whether they've caught a real bad allergy, cold, or whatever they're going through that I know is paining them, I automatically want to take on that burden. I automatically start praying, Lord, give me the pain. Let me bear the pain because I know I'm strong enough to bear it. Do you know that this is what black women do for black men? We carry your burdens because we don't want to see you hurting. We don't want to see you on your ass. We don't want to see you in the mud. And this is why a lot of us carry your scars. This is why a lot of us put you on our back. And for you to turn around and give us your ass to kiss and don't even look at us like queens, it hurts. It hurts. And so when you hear and you see somebody say, oh, that's just an angry black woman, God damn it, you motherfucking right, we angry. We are mad because we have a reason to be mad because we know the shit that we have done for you and we know what we're willing to go through for you, but you won't do it for us. You would not do it for us. When the going gets tough, your ass is out of there. But we will sit in a house with you with no fucking lights and not even look at you twice about it. We'll sit in the house knowing you ain't putting not one fucking bag of groceries in this motherfucker. We'll sit in the house with you and do some criminal shit just to make you comfortable, knowing we breaking the fucking law. How many people done stole electricity and stole gas and water from their neighbor's house? That shit is a fucking crime. But we done did that shit for you. We done did some criminal shit for you. But you won't do it for us. You will only do it for yourself because y'all are fucking selfish. And you can't tell me that y'all love how we love. I won't believe it because I have loved every black man in my life and never have received the same fight in return. Black man has always threw their hands up. If I say I'm done, if I say, you know what, I can't do this no more, I'm fucking done, man. This shit is for the birds. Like, I'm tired. Do you know a black man to be like, okay, well, I'm good. All right. Even though I say it's over, it's never a fight. But if a black man says it's over, we won't let y'all say it's over. You can't say it's over. It ain't over. No, it's not. We finna make this shit work. See, we don't give up so easily. We don't throw in the towel so easily. And that's the problem that I see. I just want to see black men really fight for black women. I want to see y'all not give up on us like we don't give up on y'all. And let me tell you something. And I'm going to say this. All right? Because I'm speaking, like I said again, from my own experiences. I'm speaking from my mama who held on to a black man for almost 40 years of her life and broke her back for this man. And he walked out on her after she broke herself in so many pieces to make this man's life comfortable. Gave up all of her. I watched my mama bleed internally. I watched my mama almost lose her mind over a black man. And when he got tired or when he felt like there was a better opportunity out there, he left with 6 kids. I bled for a black man. I jumped in front of bullets for a black man. I let them put stripes on my back. I took charges for a black man because I didn't want to see him back in prison. But have I ever had a black man fight for me? Never. Not the way that I fought for him. And so I want to defend black women who have walked away. Think about why they walked away. Think about what she went through. Because see, black women, we don't walk away like that. We don't leave. It be like 20, 30 years you be done gave a nigga. And at that point, it's time to walk away. Because now she killing herself at this point. She gotta walk away in order for her to live. In order for her to have life breathe back into her body. so she can live physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. She got to leave that toxic situation because it doesn't appreciate her. It's killing her of life instead of breathing life into her. So yes, you get some black women who are so broken. In order to save themselves, they got to leave what they love the most, and what it was, you. And you ever heard stories of where they say some black women died of broken hearts? Y'all have killed some of us and broke our hearts so bad. Some women have died over broken hearts. Anthony Malcolm, I do. And you just coming on here, and I do. I spoke about you. You're one of the ones that I speak of in regards to alpha males, the ones that know what the fight is all about. I did briefly, talk about that there are men out there, and you guys are out there. But, the sad part about it, Anthony, and you know that, we talk all the time, it's not enough. It's not enough. And, from how I was raised and with the wisdom that God has given me, for every action, there's a reaction. A woman's greatest influence was and should be a black man. A black woman's influence should be a black man. So like everything that we do it because of you. So if a woman is a hoe now, just know that there was a reflection of you. That is what you made. Every man that has ever been in a woman's life has been the reason why a woman has done what they did. And before I go, I'm going to use this as an example, right? I'm going to use this as an example. And I used to tell my ex-husband this all the time. When I first got married, and I know because I gave this man my soul. I was naked. I didn't hold nothing back. I was one of these women that shared bank accounts, everything I did, he knew about, right? And so and I was there for him. So it was a time when I ended up having to go to jail. Like I said, I got a history. I did 8 months in the county jail total, DeKalb County Jail. You guys can look me up. It's there. All right. And when I met my husband, I had just been coming out of that toxic, abusive relationship with the guy where I ended up having to become a stripper to save my own life. Okay. And so remember I told you I was that dude's ride or die. So I had pending charges. I had warrants out for my arrest. I was on the run for like 3 years. I was on the run for 3 years. And when I met my husband, I told him about my past. He witnessed a little bit of the abuse that I went through, right? And so when we decided to get married, I wanted to go into my relationship and my marriage to my husband with a clean slate. I didn't want no baggage. I didn't want nothing, that we would have to face later that was going to disrupt where we were going at that time. So my ex-husband decided that, okay, I was going to turn myself in. After 3 years of being on the run, I was using an alias name for 3 years, working under alias and everything. Never filed taxes because I couldn't. I was living under an alias because I was hiding. Remember, I was hiding from the dude. Remember, okay, if you guys go back to the story, remember the story. And I'm gonna put the book out whenever I'm ready. But if you guys know the story from when I was talking earlier of how the friend Thaddeus told me to go to the strip club, save my money, I did all of that, and I was able to get away. All right. I had a bag. So I was able to get away. And so I went up under an alias for like 3 years to make sure the dude didn't find me, because everywhere I went, he would find me under my birth name. So again, a friend and y'all know the people in Atlanta, I'm not lying. Metropolitan, there used to be a flea market out there where they used to do souvenir IDs. They used to be able to duplicate any state ID. It was called a souvenir ID, but they had like the little or Chinese man in there. He was doing them just like a regular driver's license. So what you could do is with the part on the back of that, the only thing that was different from those IDs they were producing at that time was the back stated souvenir. This is a souvenir purpose only. But they had told us how we can use fingernail remover, nail polish remover, and take that off, and it looked like a real ID. So that's how I was able to get identification, to get my own apartment, and to do the things that I needed to do, because it was a duplicate. Because remember, the guy took all my, I didn't have no driver's license, birth certificate, or none of that. All right. And so a lot of you who know about Metropolitan, y'all know all of that is true. It'll go along with my story. If you don't believe me, hold on. You're all right. I'm trying to read these comments too. Let me see. I'm putting Anthony's comment up here. I highlighted your comment, Anthony. But anyways, dang, I lost my train of thought. Maybe that means I gotta save the next chapter for something else. I think that's what it means. I don't remember where I was at. This is a long freaking story. Yeah, Anthony, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, I'm going through my comments. But listen, I lost my train of thought of what I wanted to say. But I'm going to go back through this live, and I'm going to cut it because I didn't want to do more than 30 minutes anyway. And I done been past freaking 30 minutes. Child, please. I done been on here about a dang hour. Because I got to go back and edit this footage, y'all. That's my thing. I got to go back and literally watch these shows over again. And edit and clip so I can put up the good parts. But anyways, just back to what I was saying. That's why I'm passionate about Black men, because I just want y'all to do better. I just want y'all to treat us better. I want y'all to start loving and appreciating women like me, and stop always trying to demonize us. Stop telling us we're never going to find a man and all of this, that, and the third, because everybody has a past, and everybody is the way that they are because of that past, and everybody has experiences that they went through. Okay. And that's it. That's really what I wanted to say in regards to my frustration with Black men. Like, don't compete with me, because number one, you're not gonna win. Number two, it's not gonna stop me from being who I am. I'm a strong woman, and I wasn't this is not a life that I chose. I was dealt this hand. And I have a song, I don't know if you guys know, called No Turning Back. And I said, they told me that I was chosen. I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to be how I am. Y'all got a problem with how I am, you're going to have to take that up with the Most High, because I didn't make myself. All right. It is what it is. But I'll come back with the story, because I know a lot of you are interested in hearing what happened, and vice versa. Fast forward, I think I left off on the run, so y'all just remind me of, I gotta start from when I met my ex. I was on the run, met my ex, and what I was gonna say something in regards to my ex crossing the line, like when I got married. So it was good, then it got bad. So basically, it was worse, got good, got bad, got worse again. And it was a roller coaster like that for years, 15 years. But anyways, again, thank you guys for tuning in. Always, I appreciate you guys, because my lives are always pop-up lives. I don't ever tell people when I'm live. But listen, you guys know what to do. Always keep it locked right here, WMRR Radio, Miami's new number one for music, news, and talk. What's up, Will Serious? I see you in the comments right there. That's my boy, So Serious Poetry, still here at WMRR Radio. He and DJ Exclusive will be back. And of course, you guys got Miss Angie Be Real has just joined the radio, WMRR Radio family, Tuesdays and Thursdays. She will be on air here. Island Vibration Show still here. Conversations with Candy, expecting her to come back. Tan Billionaire has joined the family. Of course, tonight, guys, Man Talk Monday on air tonight. Make sure you tune in to Cody's show. Cody's show from 8 to 10. Who else? Who else's show? Urban Beauty Boy. Got to get him back up in here. He's a part of the family as well. I know you guys haven't seen him in a while. A lot of us have a lot of behind the scenes things going on. He will be back though, I'm sure. All right. And I hope I haven't missed anybody's show. Sovereign and nail polish remover. Yes. I think that's it. I hope I haven't missed shows. If not, if I have, you guys can always go on over to our website. All right, www.wmrronair.com. You can check out our schedules over there. Find out who's on air. All right. And I'm out. I'm trying to find. I was trying to find this other comment before I go so I could highlight it. So when I edit, it'll be there. That's right. Oh, Champ. Champ was here. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's right. Accountability is very important. Oh, yeah. I absolutely hold myself accountable for a lot of bullshit that I went through. That's why I refuse to give in. I refuse to listen to the okie doke, fall for the okie dokes. Exactly. I hold myself accountable. So I'm being very cautious and responsible, this go round. So that's why I'm the way that I am, y'all. I can't go backwards. God has, taken me out of a lot of situations. I can't go backwards. So that's why I am how I am. Where is that comment? All right, there it is. All right, thank you guys. Okay, I'm out. I don't know why I'm even still on this live. I gotta go. Later, guys.